Hello, West Michigan. We have a beautiful sunny day and a nice breeze to go along with it. And I'm here at Christian Care, and I have two lovely ladies with me, and you are?
I'm Deb Stossenberg. I'm an RN.
And you are?
I'm Jean Feemster. I'm a social worker.
So I'm in the middle of all kinds of knowledge. And we're here because this is a place where mostly senior type people live, of which I am one. And there are a lot of problems that we have as we age. Don't want to admit that, but let's be honest about it. Things happen. And age contributes to it. But today, if we may, could we talk about Alzheimer's, or as you had told me, you call it a type of dementia. And give me a good, just an everyday definition of dementia.
Well, dementia is a loss of memory and loss of functioning to the point where it interferes with your everyday functioning. That would include memory, orientation, making decisions, doing just everyday menial tasks, including brushing your hair, getting dressed in the morning. So you would have a loss of physical functioning and cognitive functioning.
And they always say, well, you can forget things. Yes, you can. But if it becomes a point that you're forgetting more and more, it indicates there is a drastic change in you.
Generally, yes. The difference between if there is generalized memory loss or if it's just forgetting things is, consider if you go to an event, a picnic with your family on Sunday, let's say, and here it is Wednesday, and your son or your daughter comes over and they say, Mom, we went to the picnic on Sunday. If you say, I never went to a picnic with you, then that means technically that there's something wrong. If you say, oh yeah, I went there, I saw Uncle Ed and everybody else, you remember some parts of going there, then that just may be generalized forgetfulness, which is quite a bit of a difference when you're talking about dementia.
Because whatever we do, is part of it just the fact that we have retired somewhat from life?
Well,
that's not a good thing to say, but
well, I don't think you retire from life, really, except for one way. But there are different kinds of factors that come into play. You have to look at how the person is physically overall, if there are any existing medical conditions going on, if there's any extra stress going on in the person's life. But generally with our aging population, you want to stay active as much as possible, active physically and keeping your mind active, doing puzzles, naming states, anything that will keep you aware of what's going on around you.
So in other words, assuming that your physical condition is halfway decent, keep that mind going. And exercise it constantly. Does reading help improve?
It helps to maintain. I don't want to put myself out there and say it's going to improve memory loss or a cognitive problem, but it will help keep it active, keep your mind active, and recognizing the written word, recognizing what the meanings of those words are a little bit longer.
Well, I used the wrong words. See, you had to correct me right away, didn't you? No, but Jean, it is true that if you read, it does keep your mind functioning.
Yes.
Constantly on the go.
Yes.
And working crossword puzzles?
Working crossword puzzles, working the word find puzzles, working those number puzzles, sitting down with a piece of paper and pen, writing all the states in alphabetical order, forwards and backwards, writing the capitals, anything that you can do that makes your mind search through its memory banks or its levels of all the knowledge that you've obtained is very good for you.
Well, I can see, well, how about, does getting out amongst other people that you would not normally see in the place where you live, does that help to stir the mind?
Well, you're talking about being active both physically and mentally. Anytime that a person can keep up their physical prowess and to continue to walk and get out and socialize, that's going to help you quite a bit. Don't you think so, Deb?
I do. One of the things that we see, even when you are moving through the stages of dementia, we try very hard to preserve as much physical functioning as possible. Even maintaining your strong muscles of your legs will help with transferring and being able to walk and keeping yourself moving. You know, if we don't move, our whole body starts to shut down. If you can think about when you've been ill, maybe had the flu for a day or two, you do get weak because you're not moving your body. Just like Jean talked about those exercises, your mind would get weak as well. But when we refer to dementia, there's actually a problem in the brain functioning itself. The brain sends messages with these special things called neurotransmitters. And neurotransmitters, they have to be present in order for the message to get from one cell to another. In dementia, those neurotransmitters they either can't get through the pathways or there's some disturbance that causes that to happen. So when we talk about dementia as a diagnosis, we've already seen physical changes inside the brain.
Is that sending the message from the brain, is that a part of the brain shut down?
Well, in normal message transmission, our body would touch something hot and send a message up here to our head, and then it's like a computer, and the computer tells the hand to move from something hot. When you have dementia or some dysfunction in the brain, that message is interrupted. So even in early stages, we see people have loss where they can't interpret messages. But as you move through the stages of dementia and get to late stage, which is where Jean and I mostly work, people may even forget who their loved one is, forget that they can feel pain, they may not be able to tell when something's hot. So all of those messages get just really mixed up.
Well, this I have run into quite often, and I have always looked at it as being, I didn't think of the nice technical way you put it, but I just figured that something isn't working in their body.
That's correct.
So that they just aren't what they used to be. So, in other words, keep busy.
Keep busy.
Don't sit down, move,
Move.
and use the brain.
Use the brain.
So, well, you know, I've got a million questions, but I promise not to ask all of them.
Okay.
Let's take a short break, and then we'll come back again.